My cousin Clive is a bit of an enigma. And my present relationship to him started about 8 years ago, when I was sitting in the local pub with my brother Eric, and Eric said, "I wonder whatever happened to Clive Howard Kelly." Well, I said, "I know, I'll look him up on the internet and see if I can find anything." Well, the rest is history, because I contacted him, which is pretty obvious now. And we corresponded via email for many, many months, in fact quite a few years, before Clive eventually returned to England. And I eventually met him in Blackpool just 2 or 3 years ago. And that was the first time that I had set eyes on him since 1958, when I was 7.5 years old.
And I was 18.
Yeah. Now, of course, Clive was a bit of a legend.
But I remember him when he was a baby, because his mum used to leave me to look after him.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't remember because he was in bed upstairs and I was downstairs in the sitting room.
Yeah. I remember one particular incident where I had gone to his house. Well, really, I'd gone to see my Auntie Connie, who's not my real auntie. She's a cousin of my mother, but she was always known as Auntie Connie. And of course there was Cousin Clive and Cousin Glenda. Well, we hardly ever saw Clive, because he was out and about and nothing much was said about him and what he did. But one day we went there and Clive was there, and I think Eric had come along too. And I said to him, you know, because he was dressed up in his teddy boy gear, "Where are you going?" And he said, "We're going out jiving." And I said, "Oh, can I come too?" Because what I thought that he said was, "We're going out driving."
Oh, jiving is bopping.
Exactly. I didn't understand what jiving was.
Bebopalula.
Yeah, I didn't know that. See, I was too young to know what jiving was.
Jiving is a teddy boy.
And that was really the last time that I saw Clive before he disappeared off. But we did hear about him off and on over the years through Connie, his mum, who was telling us that he was buying beads and then giving them to the Indians. The Indians were making things, and then he was selling belts and things like that to the tourists, and then giving the money back to the Indians. And I thought, well, it's a bit of an odd way. And I'd heard about his clubs that he had, but being so young, I didn't understand really what it was all about. But now, some, I don't know, 50 years later, even more, I've been brought up to date. And hopefully, very soon, I shall be writing his autobiography. And I think that just about tells it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's well. I've been writing my biography for
years and years.
20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
But I write it in such a way, and I left school at the age of, 13, I was thrown out, expelled. So I don't know how to dot the I's or put the capitals in. And
yeah.
Andrew does, so there we have a team. I write the story, and Andrew,
of course, the other thing is, being handwriting, sometimes your handwriting is a little hard to decipher.
Yes, and he knows how to do it.
I've worked it out now, and I have to change the wording a little, and sometimes censor it.
Anyway,
not too much censorship.
The book that Andrew is editing and I'm writing, I've just finished almost, so it'll be out in a few months. And it will be a whacking great Bible on rock and roll from the 40s up till now. It'll be a compendium of fashion, club owners, musicians. It'll be a story of the Indians in Brazil and the progression of Brazilian to destroy the Amazon, which they're doing by building the dams. So it'll be coming out within a few months, so stand by.
So it's, really, it's sex, drugs and rock and roll.
Sex, drugs and rock and roll to the extreme.
And ecology.
And ecology, yeah. And sailing.
Oh yes, we forgot about sailing. I like sailing.
I love it.
I wish I'd have known you a bit earlier so I could have come sailing.
So you could have come sailing with me. But it's not too late, we'll be relaunching Survival very soon when the book comes out.
I thought you'd sold it.
Ah, well that's all. Yeah, it's buried.
Fallen through again?
Ah, it's buried. I'm building another one, so what?
Build another one. Bury it, you won't.
It's buried already.
Well, you can bury it, but you don't sink it.
We buried it already. But we know how to dig it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. Thanks, guys. Thank you.